There's a voice inside your head that doesn't belong to you. Think about the last time you walked into a room and instantly knew something was off. Or when you picked up your phone to text someone right as their message came through. Maybe it was that gut feeling that made you take a different route home, only to find out later there was a massive accident on your usual path. Most people call this coincidence. Scientists have been telling us for decades that the human brain is just a 3-pound biological computer, processing information from your immediate surroundings. Nothing more, nothing else. That narrative just got completely demolished. A breakthrough study from Shanghai University in 2024 revealed something that's about to flip everything we understand about human consciousness on its head. They discovered that the protective coating around your brain cells, something called myelin, isn't just insulation. It's operating like a biological quantum antenna. These researchers found actual evidence of quantum entanglement happening inside living neural tissue. The same phenomenon that Einstein called impossible, particles staying connected across infinite distances, is occurring in your brain right now. This isn't some fringe theory anymore. This is peer-reviewed science suggesting that your consciousness might be tapped into a universal information network. And here's the crazy part. Some brains are better receivers than others. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell, because YouTube's algorithm only shows this kind of mind-bending content to people who are ready for it. What I'm about to show you will explain why certain people seem to know things before they happen. And there's a good chance you're already one of those people. You just never understood the science behind it. For generations, neuroscientists insisted that quantum effects couldn't survive in the brain's chaotic environment. Max Tegmark from MIT ran the calculations. Any delicate quantum state would be obliterated in milliseconds by the thermal noise of firing neurons. The scientific establishment treated this as settled fact, but Yongkong Chen and his team at Shanghai University weren't satisfied with that limitation. They started investigating something mainstream neuroscience had overlooked: the optical properties of myelin sheaths. Myelin isn't just electrical insulation. It operates like biological fiber optic cable, capable of guiding and amplifying infrared photons. When Chen examined carbon-hydrogen bonds in neurons under specific conditions, he witnessed something extraordinary. These bonds release cascading radiation that generates paired photons, entangled photons, twin particles of light that maintain instantaneous connection regardless of distance. And they're being manufactured inside your brain as you read this. Consider what this actually means. Every sudden insight you've ever had, every moment of clarity that seemed to come from nowhere, every gut instinct that saved you from making a terrible decision, could be the result of quantum communication happening between different regions of your brain. But that's just the surface level. As particles in your brain can be entangled with each other, what's stopping them from being entangled with particles elsewhere? Quantum physics teaches us that entanglement has no distance limit. Two entangled particles on Earth maintain their connection, even if one gets launched to another galaxy. Einstein rejected this as spooky action at a distance because he couldn't accept that nature operated this way. Nature didn't ask for Einstein's permission. Chen discovered that when neurons fire in synchronized bursts, like what happens during deep focus or meditative states, the production of entangled photons increases dramatically. It's as if the brain shifts into a quantum mode of operation. Picture a jazz ensemble. When musicians play randomly, it's chaos. But when they sync up, they create harmony. Neurons do something similar, except they're using entangled light as their conductor. This explains why experienced meditators report feelings of oneness with everything. It's not metaphor. It might be a literal description of an expanded quantum state of consciousness. The discovery also reveals something disturbing about neurodegenerative diseases. Myelin thickness decreases with age, directly correlating with cognitive decline. If myelin functions as a quantum antenna, then losing myelin is like losing your ability to tune into universal frequencies of information. Alzheimer's wouldn't just be memory loss, it would be quantum disconnection. But here's where it gets fascinating. If Tesla was right when he said everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, then maybe there's a way to reconnect these biological antennas, to fine-tune the reception. The researchers found that different consciousness states produce distinct patterns of entangled photons. When you're anxious, the production is chaotic. When you're in deep peace, the photons organize into coherent patterns, almost like they're performing a cosmic choreography. This isn't coincidence. It's physics applied to human experience. Carl Jung wrote about the collective unconscious, a shared psychological dimension connecting all humanity. Maybe Jung was describing, with the language available to him, this quantum information network linking all minds through particle entanglement. Jung's archetypes, those universal images appearing in completely isolated cultures, could be information transmitted through this quantum network, not genetic inheritance. Quantum inheritance. When you have a prophetic dream, when you sense someone's presence before seeing them, when you know something's about to happen, maybe you're accessing information that traveled to you through quantum entanglement. The pineal gland, which René Descartes called the seat of the soul, sits exactly where entangled photon production is most intense. Coincidence? Or did evolution develop this structure as a specialized quantum antenna? Ancient traditions spoke of the third eye as a gateway to higher dimensions of reality. Maybe they were describing, in mystical language, the same phenomenon Chen discovered with scientific equipment. Now that you understand the basic mechanism, a deeper question emerges. Why do some people seem to have privileged access to this quantum information? The answer lies in the thickness and quality of your myelin sheaths. Think of myelin as biological fiber optic cable. The denser and better structured it is, the clearer the transmission of entangled photons. The more damaged or thin, the more static interferes with quantum communication. This explains why certain spiritual practices have always emphasized specific consciousness states. Meditation, fasting, controlled breathing, all these techniques alter neural activity in ways that could optimize entangled photon production and coherence. When you meditate deeply, you're not just relaxing your mind. You're creating optimal conditions for quantum entanglement. You're calibrating your biological antennas to receive information that transcends your physical body's limitations. The Hermetic principles, encoded thousands of years ago, state, as above, so below. If the universe operates through quantum entanglement at the microscopic level, then human consciousness, being part of this universe, must operate by the same principles at the macroscopic level. Neville Goddard taught that imagination is God's creative power operating through human consciousness. Maybe imagination is the process through which we access entangled information and collapse quantum potentialities into manifest realities. When you visualize something with emotional intensity, you're not just thinking positive. You're potentially influencing quantum patterns through the observer effect. Your focused consciousness could be literally reorganizing reality's probabilistic structure. The law of vibration, which Tesla considered fundamental, makes sense in this context. If your neurons produce photons with specific frequencies, and these photons are entangled with the universal quantum field, then altering your mental vibration can influence information patterns on a cosmic scale. But there's a crucial detail most people miss. Quantum entanglement doesn't work like radio. You don't send information from one place to another. Instead, measurements made on one entangled particle instantly influence its partner's state, regardless of distance. This means when you observe something, when you focus consciousness on a specific possibility, you might be influencing quantum probabilities elsewhere and elsewhen. The double-slit experiment showed us that conscious observation collapses waves of possibility into definite particles. Your consciousness isn't passive. It's reality's co-creator. David Deutsch, quantum computing pioneer, proposes that infinite parallel versions of you live slightly different timelines. Maybe intuition is your ability to sense information leaking from these other versions through quantum entanglement. When you get déjà vu, when you feel like you know someone you just met, when you have absolute certainty about something you shouldn't know, it could be your consciousness accessing memories from parallel versions of yourself through quantum connections. The holographic universe concept, which Stephen Hawking defended, suggests all cosmic information is encoded in every part of it. If true, then each neuron in your brain contains information about the entire universe. The question isn't how to access this information, but how to decode what's already there. The simulation theory, popularized by Nick Bostrom, gains new perspective in this context. If we live in a quantum simulation, then glitches in the matrix would manifest as synchronicities, déjà vus, and inexplicable intuitions. Moments where reality's underlying code becomes momentarily visible. Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, spoke of living in harmony with the Logos, the universal reason governing all things. Maybe the Logos is this quantum information network connecting all consciousness. Living in harmony with it would mean tuning your mental frequency to universal coherence patterns. Jung discovered that synchronistic events, meaningful coincidences, increase during periods of deep psychological transformation. This makes sense if personality structure changes alter quantum entanglement patterns, creating higher probability for coincidences reflecting the new internal state. When you're experiencing spiritual awakening, you're not just changing perspective. You're potentially altering how your consciousness entangles with the universal quantum field. This could explain why people in transformation report increased synchronicities and paranormal experiences. Quantum immortality theory suggests consciousness always finds a timeline where it continues existing. Gains new credibility if consciousness is a non-local quantum phenomenon. Physical death wouldn't necessarily mean conscious information extinction if that information is entangled with the eternal quantum field. But maybe the most profound aspect of this discovery is what it reveals about the nature of God. If the entire universe is connected through quantum entanglement, if all information is shared instantly through non-local networks, then maybe God isn't a separate entity up there, but the very consciousness network connecting all things. You're not separate from the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself through a specific point of conscious observation. Your intuition is the cosmos whispering truths your individual mind hasn't processed yet. Your synchronicities are messages from a universal intelligence that knows your journey's complete pattern. And now that you know this, the question remains: how will you use this knowledge to tune your consciousness to higher frequencies of cosmic information? Notice something. While you were absorbing this information, something shifted in your awareness. Maybe you started recognizing patterns that were invisible before, or felt a resonance with ideas your logical mind should probably question more. That's not random. It's your consciousness recalibrating to process a broader spectrum of reality. It's the beginning of finer attunement to information frequencies that have always been available, but you didn't have the proper receivers calibrated to pick them up. Ten's discovery at Shanghai University is just the tip of the iceberg. There are even deeper layers to this quantum connection between consciousness and cosmos that science is only beginning to map. Realities that will make this breakthrough look elementary by comparison. The next video that's going to pop up on your screen will reveal something that could restructure your understanding of how reality actually operates even more dramatically. Something that connects directly with what you just learned, but will take you into territories few dare to explore. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.